is a introduction to meditation video for you to explore. So meditation is something that some of us may be intimidated by. It might be something that we've tried to do and found it really difficult. Sometimes we have ideas of meditation that we must sit on the floor, and that is not true. You can do meditation sitting in a chair. It's usually a good idea to have your back supported. So if you're sitting in an armchair on your sofa, make sure that you're not slumping down like this, because this creates a lot of strain on the body. And what we are looking for in meditation is to have this nice tall long spine. So this is one reason why sitting on the floor is good, but it's more important that you're comfortable. So sit in a chair if you wish, bring support to your spine. When I sit on the floor, I always like to have some support. So if you were going to kneel, then what can be helpful is to have a bolster or some very firm cushions, and to sit onto the very end of the bolster, not in the middle, but on the end. And to make your knees more comfortable, bring your hands onto your calves, roll the flesh of the calves to the side, and then sit yourself down. So what I like about this position, Virasana, hero pose, is that it keeps lots of length to your spine. It's quite hard to slump here because you notice straight away that you're slumping. So this is a really good posture to take just to help you bring this length through your spine and improve your posture. You can, of course, also sit in a cross-legged position. So on a bolster or on a block, excuse me, so cross-legged. If you do sit cross-legged, notice we always tend to put the same leg in front. So usually it's good, you just sit down without thinking about it, and then you can always change the cross of your legs to have the other leg in front, so that you've got a little bit more balance coming on to open through your hips. But as I said, number one is that you're comfortable, because one of the reasons meditation is hard is because our body starts to ache, because we're not used to sitting still in an attentive way. We're used to being in front of our computers for hours, which, you know, this is very uncomfortable to do. We can switch off, so we don't notice this. Yoga is a practice of switching on, so we become more aware of how we're feeling. And so something like this at the beginning can be difficult to hold. We might think, oh, my back is sore, or my neck is a bit tight. And this is where yoga postures, yoga asana, are really helpful ways to prepare us for meditation. The more that the body becomes flexible, the more comfortable and familiar we are with being on the floor, then the easier it comes to sit like this. So it all comes with time and with practice. So really in meditation, we're looking to just have the body however is comfortable, so that we can work with our mind, so that we can work to bring a sense of stability and ease to the mind. And ultimately, we are going beyond the mind. So this is tricky, because when we learn, we're using our mind, of course, we're using our intellect. This is what helps us to learn and grasp and understand this world that we live in, helps us to understand the yoga practices and spiritual teachings. But ultimately, there comes a point with spiritual teachings where we have to let go of the mind somewhat, not completely, but we just go beyond the mind. It's like going an extra step further and exploring what is there. It's beyond your reason, it's beyond your intellect, it's beyond your sense of ego, and it's beyond the physical world. So it's really something that's quite difficult to understand with your mind alone. We can understand the benefits of meditation with our mind. We can understand that it helps our mind to become clearer. We can understand that it helps us to be able to regulate our emotions and our thoughts. We might understand that it can help us become more productive. It can help us become more creative. We might believe that it helps us develop greater stamina. Some of us might believe that it helps us connect to an idea of a god or a goddess, or the idea of the universe or source or essence. But ultimately, for all of us, you don't have to be religious at all. For all of us, it can really just help us connect to a feeling of wholeness within. not a wholeness that comes because we've bought this thing or we've achieved this goal. It's a different accomplishment, as it were. It's rather than looking out all of the time, we look inward in meditation, and this helps us discover our sense of wholeness just as we are, even those times where we feel broken, exhausted, numb and disconnected. Yoga is always a practice of returning to ourselves, to our sense of wholeness and our sense of belonging, just as we are. So all of the yoga practices are designed to help us do that. And meditation, of course, is a yoga practice. So we are going to just start to explore that a little bit today. So you can do this practice at any time. You can do it after a more physical yoga practice if you want. You can do it in the morning. Lots of people enjoy doing meditation in the morning. Sometimes it's a bit easier because once your day is started, your mind is usually caught up in your day, in your life, all your things to do. Whereas first thing in the morning, there can be a little bit more space, but ultimately make it convenient for you. And whilst consistency is important, don't beat yourself up if you're not able to do it regularly. Try and set a goal that's realistic for you. So if every day is not possible, then maybe once a week, the same day, the same time every week, maybe a few times a week. Just be realistic, but also be ambitious, so that you can be someone that meditates. It's not just a special group of people that do it. People all over the world are meditating. It's a wonderful gift to give to yourself, but it's hard sometimes at the beginning. So be comfortable. So however you're going to sit, and I think sitting is good, not lying, that's more yoga nidra, not standing, but sitting, length to the spine. Now your hands can rest wherever's comfortable, so palms down or palms up. Some people like to work with mudras, so this is a kind of classic one, where you bring your index finger and your thumb together. This is called Jana Mudra or Chin Mudra. It's thought to promote clarity. You don't have to do this, it's just if it just feels comfortable for you, then you can do it. And then close your eyes. So the closing of the eyes is often like a signal that you are now coming to a more inner practice. You can open your eyes if you prefer, but keep your gaze down. If you start to feel stressed out by having the eyes closed for a long period, just very softly open them, keep the gaze down, and you can close them again if you wish. And so it's very normal when we start to meditate, we just sit and go, what am I meant to be doing? Am I meant to be thinking about something, or am I meant to not be thinking about something? And of course, this is all the mind that's asking these questions and posing these questions. Our mind is really used to being in control. And in meditation, we're just saying to our mind, do you know what? You can have a little holiday. You can just have a rest. Let's see what else there is. And so we can start by acknowledging our mind. So we might think, oh, my mind is very busy. I am thinking a lot of thoughts. And then we start to notice our bodies. So you might notice, oh, I'm a bit uncomfortable. I wish I was sitting in another way. So maybe next time you can sit in another way. Or you can change position now if you can do so easily. Notice the sensations in your body. You might notice things like, oh, my back's a little bit sore, or I'm a bit tired. Start to notice your point of contact with the floor. So for me, I can notice my shins, the tops of my feet. I can also Notice my buttocks on the bolster. If you're in a chair, you might just have the soles of your feet on the floor. Good to take your shoes off if you haven't done that. And so we are noticing the feeling of our body. And this is surprisingly hard because we are very used to being inside of our heads. And so we might start to think about anything really. What has happened, what might happen. This is really normal. You're not doing anything wrong. Our minds are designed for thinking. We have trained them to think. Meditation is just a chance to do something else. And this particular type of meditation, which is to just keep feeling your body, noticing your body, is an opportunity to feel rather than think. And to become more present. Because whilst our minds have this amazing ability to time travel, to go forward and backward through time, our bodies and our breaths are here, right now, in this moment. So this isn't about getting anything right. This isn't about, certainly this is not about stopping thinking, but just being aware of your thoughts. And feeling, remembering your body. So some people find it helpful to mentally acknowledge which parts of their body they're feeling. So for example, you might, as you're sitting here, just silently say to yourself, I notice my right hand. I can feel a vibrating, a tingling, a buzziness in my hand. And then you might notice where the sensation travels. So this is just for an example. And now I can notice my chest. And I feel that my head is leaning to the left. That makes me notice my left foot. And I can feel the blanket beneath my feet. So sometimes just almost as if you were writing a little script of everything that you're feeling can be helpful here. If you're finding it hard to stay focused on feeling your body, then you could just quietly, silently say to yourself what is happening, what you are feeling. There is always something going on. If we pay attention. So even if your experience is that of being a bit uncomfortable, then that is your experience and you pay attention to that. You're not here to fix it or change it. Notice if you start to slouch, take a moment to lengthen through your spine again. Feeling your body, noticing your breath. Finding the stillness that lies beneath the mind. As if you just discovered the staircase in your house that led down to a vast, expansive basement. You never knew it was there, all this space. Notice how the mind tries to gain back its control. It starts to tell you you're bored. This is stupid. You can't do it. All these things the mind throws at us. See if you can be with all of that. And yet still be still. The more that we meditate, the more we slow down, and the more we become aware of our thoughts as being part of us, but not wholly us. And the more we start to recognize our habits of negative thinking, of critical thinking, of judgmental thinking, the more we start to recognize and notice that we might have beliefs like, I'm not good enough, that we are carrying around with us that actually are not useful or helpful to us. The more stillness that we can cultivate, the more we start to recognize a part of ourselves that is beyond all of this conditioning, all of the thinking and beliefs that we have been taught by our culture and inherited down through family and karma. And the more we can dive into this pool of stillness, this oasis, sanctuary that is inside of us. And so you are welcome, of course, to stay sitting here for as long as you like. If you're new, then I recommend just short practices are best. And to end the meditation, start to open your eyes, keep your gaze softly down. Your eyes might blink open as you let the light come back. You have been into your inner world and now you come back to your outer world, relaxing the hands. Hands to the heart in acknowledgement of your effort, of your practice. All that needed is your willingness to practice. That's all that you need. Let's take a deeper breath in. And as you breathe out, bowing your head in acknowledgement to your heart and this stillness and wholeness that is already inside of you. Namaste. Thank you everyone, well done. I hope you've enjoyed this practice. Do come back to it as often as you like. Maybe start to explore practicing without the video sometimes and then come back to the video and enjoy the rest of your day.